Well guys, if you're an avid watcher of the channel, you know I put out a video about 4 or 5 days ago called Why I Might Put $100,000 in USO in May of 2020. I was just flirting with the idea of possibly buying USO, but here today I actually did it, okay? We started dating. USO and me, we started dating officially, okay? I bought 5,200 shares in the fund here today. My cost basis on this is $2.13 roughly, okay? I'm up a little bit as of right now, about $29. I literally just opened the position like an hour or two ago. So this is gonna be an interesting one to play out. Some things have transpired very recently that have made me much more excited about USO over time, okay? First thing I want to talk about in this video is what huge change just happened in USO that made me say, I gotta put $11,000 in USO here today, okay? The second thing I want to talk about is how much more money will I put into USO, and at what price would USO have to go down to for me to put certain amount of money in it, okay? So I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video. As always, smash that thumbs up button. Last video we did on USO hit 6,797 thumbs up. I think we can crush that in this video, guys. I'm gonna be honest, I think we can go ahead and take that down. Let's go ahead and try it, okay? Let's start getting into this, guys, okay? So first off, in regards to USO, United States Oil Fund is basically, its job, it's trying to track oil prices, and it hasn't done it very well in the past, okay? Let me explain why this hasn't done a very good job of kind of, finding oil price and kind of going up or down with it, recently, okay? As you can see here with this chart, USO has gone from 13 bucks to $2 in a 4-month span, okay? Now, this might never have happened if it wasn't for the Rona situation. I mean, that's caused the oil market to completely disintegrate, completely fall apart. World economy shut down. This is an unforeseen thing. I mean, who knows where USO is here today if the Rona didn't happen. But the fact is, the Rona did happen, and literally USO has gone from $13 to $2 in a 4-month span, okay? I mean, look at that. That's literally insane. You go January, it's $13 roughly, and then by the time we're getting close to March, it's at $10. It's at $5 by the time world economies had shut down, and here today it's at $2. Absolutely crazy, okay? And if you don't know why USO declined so much, let me explain it to you in as simple terms as possible. It's a 3-step process on why USO went down so much, okay? So USO owned mostly current month oil contracts, okay? So when it comes to oil contracts, they always are kind of looking for the upcoming month, but the upcoming month you really consider the current month. For example, we're about to go into May, but the June contracts are currently the current month, okay? So they owned mostly current month oil contracts and had to flip those into the next month contracts. They always are flipping the contracts into the next month and next month, okay? So once those ones expire, they flip them in. Now the horrible part is, so this is horrible because the current month kept falling, okay? So where they had most of their money invested in terms of the contracts, those prices continued to disintegrate, and we saw what happened with the May contracts. May contracts ended up going negative. Absolutely unreal. And meanwhile, USO probably paid, probably anywhere from $30 to $40 for those contracts, and they literally went worthless. But they actually had to, whoever had them at the end had to pay to get rid of them. And so current month kept falling. They had to flip into much more expensive monthly contracts for the next month, and this was called contango. It's a really bad, really ugly situation. And then those contracts, after they buy them, would start to fall and fall and fall until they would get rid of them. And it was a repeat of the cycle. It was a contango cycle. It was ugly. I mean, just a disaster, okay? And to kind of give you a real world example, imagine they're paying $40 for the contracts. The contracts go to $30 while they own them. Okay, great. They just lost $10 per contract. That's a disaster. So then they got to go ahead and sell at $30. Then they go ahead and buy the next month at $40. So the fund continues to just lose money. It's a no bueno situation. It's ugly times ugly. And that is how you get USO to go from 13 bucks to a $2 chuck, okay? That's how you get it, okay? That's how you get it to go from 13 to $2. It was an ugly situation. It was just contango on contango, and it's been a complete disaster for USO. Let's be very, clear about that. A lot of folks on Wall Street have been laughing because, a lot of of retail investors have got in this over the past few months and like, haha, look at them, they lost money. And hey man, I don't think that's cool to laugh at anybody for losing money. It was just a really ugly situation. Not a lot of people really understood USO. They thought it was just an investment in the spot price of oil without fully researching, and definitely always fully researched, but I don't think it's funny to laugh at people just for not doing the full research. But make sure you do the full research, okay? But what huge change just happened? There's a huge, massive change that just happened here with USO that is really, really freaking exciting, okay? On Monday, USCF, the funds administrator, said over the next 3 days, the USO will sell all of its West Texas Intermediate contracts for June delivery in favor of longer-term contracts. This is a gigantic, enormous change for USO, okay? Now, first off, in terms of the June contracts, they're getting out of those completely, and there's a lot of speculation on what will happen to the June contracts. Some people believe June contracts will go negative again, and if that's the case, it's good that USO gets out of those June contracts now. We'll have to see what happens, but some people are talking about this time, those contracts might end up going negative $50, negative $100, huge moves. It's all speculation. We'll see what actually happens with those June contracts, but we know storage space for oil is, getting pretty dang close to maxing out. And if you take actual delivery of the oil, which you have to do if you own the contracts at the end, then you have to pay to get the oil stored. And so if you're paying to get the oil stored, oh my goodness, I mean, you are paying through the nose for that space right now. It's an ugly, ugly situation, okay? We know this because, I mean, all of us that are shareholders of NAT have bought into NAT recently, right? They're an oil tanker stock, and they're making money hand over fist right now. And basically anybody that is involved in oil storage is making crazy money right now, and it's a phenomenal thing. And so if you want to get rid of those contracts, at the end, you're going to probably have to pay to get rid of those contracts because whoever's taking delivery is going to have to pay through the roof just to store the oil. It's absolutely crazy, okay? Now, here's where it gets really exciting, okay? The fund's rough breakdown, talking about USO, will now be as follows, okay? 30% of the money will be in July contracts. So July contracts are trading roughly around $17, $18 right now. So they're flipping the June contracts into July contracts. Obviously, the June contracts are much lower than July contracts, so that's a lot of contango there. But what's exciting about this is if the economy opens back up and people start getting a little bit excited about what's going to transpire, and oh my gosh, oil demand is finally coming back to a certain extent, those July contracts could potentially go up a lot. We'll see what happens with that. It's all going to depend on when these worldwide economies open up and how strongly do they open or not open. But just the fact that economies could potentially open within the next month is massive, okay? That's massive for oil. So 30% of the money is going to be in those. Then 15% of the money is going to be in August contracts, okay? August contracts right now are trading around 21 bucks, somewhere around there. So once again, that's incredibly low. I mean, August usually is trading, usually $50 to $100. I mean, $50 would be really low for August to be trading at that. But usually August can be trading at $60, $70, $80, $90, $100. And, this year it's trading obviously in the low 20s, okay? So 15% of the money will be put in those August contracts. 15% of the money will be put in September contracts, okay? September right now is trading at $23, $24. Once again, a historically insanely low price, needless to say. I mean, for September contracts there, we're going to have 15% of the money put in October contracts. October is trading at 25 bucks, roughly around there. Another extremely low price, needless to say, when it comes to, where things are trading at there. 15% of the money will be put in December contracts. December contracts right now are trading at about 27 and some change. And these numbers are going to be very important to remember as the month transpires, because if these numbers continue to jump throughout the month, that would obviously be a pretty dang good thing for USO, because they would get to obviously make a bunch of money on these further out contracts. It's more of a longer term outlook, which I really like this about USO now. I think they've changed for the better, okay? And then 10% of the money is going to be put way out into June 2021 contracts, so way out there, okay? June 2021s are trading right now in the low 30s, okay? The low 30s. That's a year from now. It's hard for me to see oil prices at $30, $31 a year from now. Everything's possible. It's a commodities market. I just don't foresee that with everything that is going on right now, okay? Let me be very clear. My bet is on oil prices going up for the next 1 to 2 years. And I think USO now is in an actual good position to take advantage of this with the fact that they're buying longer term out contracts rather than just trying to be in the situation where almost all their money's in the current month and then they have to go ahead and flip that in the next month. That's a messy situation. That's hard to really capitalize. It's almost impossible to capitalize on oil going up over time, okay? The fact is now they're in a much better position to capitalize on my bet, which I just don't think oil at the current prices is sustainable, okay? So before USO was really no good for my situation, it really wasn't because of contango and it was just way too short term. Now, things are much better, okay? In my opinion, $10 to $30 oil is not sustainable long term. Let me be very clear about that. $10 to $30 a barrel oil is not sustainable long term, okay? The Saudis can produce oil and transport oil for far cheaper than anybody else. But on an actual cost basis, it's around $10 for their break even, okay? So the Saudis aren't even making profits at $10. Never mind everybody else. I mean, if you're in the States, you need $40 plus. If you're in Russia, you need $20 to $30, roughly around there. If you're obviously in the UK or you're anywhere in Europe, you really need 55 and up. I mean, needless to say, this is completely unsustainable to keep oil prices down where they are, okay? Oil currently obviously is in a dramatically bad situation. The supply is way out of whack compared to the demand. Why is this? Well, the producers kept producing oil and have kept producing oil even though they've cut and cut and cut, and they've just been too far behind the ball when it came to production cuts because the whole Rona situation just threw a mess into it, okay? So they lagged big time when it came to cutting supply. Demand is the worst it's been in a long, long time. I mean, like literally decades because of the Rona shutting down worldwide economies. And it just put oil into this dramatically bad tailspin that's going on right now. I mean, you couldn't possibly really imagine a worse situation for oil prices than right now. You really can't, because the fact is worldwide economies got shut down. And in terms of OPEC, they completely lagged in shutting down wells and production. And same things with a lot of the US producers. They've just completely lagged in that situation. I think things are going to flip in the back half of this year, and especially as we go into 2021. I think what's going to end up happening is we're not going to have nearly enough supply. Demand's going to probably have come back quite a bit. Maybe it's not fully back, but it will have come back a lot. Meanwhile, a lot of the US producers, the shale plays, a lot of them are going to go bankrupt, okay? A lot of those are just going to be shut down just completely because they're not going to be able to make money. They're going to have lost so much money, it's just not going to make sense. So supply from the US side is going to be down. Anybody producing out of Europe is probably going to go bankrupt or, face a lot of troubles. Let's put it that way, okay? And then you have OPEC continue to cut and cut and cut. And I think we're going to end up getting in a situation 2021 where supply is likely going to be not enough and demand's going to be way higher. And so that will end up producing a situation where prices continue to climb and climb and climb and climb, in my opinion. And obviously, that would be a very good thing for USO, the fact that they're buying these longer out contracts. And if these longer out contracts continue to go up for them, that would definitely be a very good thing for USO in general. Now, the next question is, where will I buy more at and how much money would I put in, okay? How much more would I put in and where would I buy at, okay? So here's what I'm thinking. I always got to think about like worst case scenarios whenever you go into a stock or into something like this, like a commodity, and you also have to have a max amount of money you're willing to put in, and I'll share that max amount of money I'm willing to put into this as well, okay? So if I go down on USO 5%, so, basically my position goes down 5%, I will buy $5,500 more. Keep in mind my initial investment here is right around $11,000. So I'll add another $5,500 more. And that's if it goes down 5%, okay? Now, if I go down 10% from my original buy, which I don't know if that would really happen, but it's everything's possible, okay? I doubt I bought USO right at the bottom, okay? It's very rare that I get in on a stock or, I rarely buy into funds like this, but it's very rare that I buy right at the bottom. So it's very possible it could go down 5-10%, okay? So if it goes down 10% from my original buy, I will buy another $5,500 more, which would mean my, original amount put in would essentially now be 22,000, roughly somewhere around there, okay? Now, if I go down 15% from my original buy, I will buy another $11,000 more, okay? And this is typically what I do with a stock when I buy a stock. If it goes down more and more and I love the company more and more, I'll just buy in heavier generally. That's, I've documented that many times on the channel. Obviously, Tesla was a good example of that. It went from 300, then it was in the 200s, then it was down to 180, and I just kept buying shares as it went down, and that's how I got a cost basis in the public account on Tesla of, I think it's $227, because I was just buying all the way down, okay? So once again, it goes down, my original investment goes down 15%, let's say I'll buy another $11,000 worth, and if I was to go down 20% plus from my original buy, I would buy another $11,000 worth, okay? I would say there's a very low probability, in my opinion, I go down 20% plus on this. It is possible, okay? It is possible, as with all things in the market. I think there's a very low probability because I think the oil market, I don't want to say it's at a bottom, but gosh, it's got to be getting pretty dang close, okay? Within the next, let's say, few weeks, maybe the next month or so, I think we'll likely see a bottom. So to go down 20% plus, hey, it's a possibility, but I highly doubt that would happen. But if it happened, I will put another $11,000 into USO, okay? So my max amount I'm willing to risk in USO is $44,000. That's the maximum amount I'm willing to risk out there. I talk, maybe $100,000. I can't see myself putting that much into, basically a commodity play. This is not my specialty, but, hey, if I see some easy money out there, which I kind of am starting to look at USO, and I'm like looking at the way they're going to start doing the fund now, needless to say, I think those contracts are going to become much more valuable. They're buying over time. And I think the fund's going to be in a much stronger position for the next 1 to 2 years versus if they had kept doing what they were doing. If they kept doing what they were doing, it was just going to be a mess, and it was probably just going to continue to go down and down and down. Now I'm looking at this fund, and it's much more attractive. Unless, the only way it's not attractive is if you're in a situation where you don't believe oil prices will ever bounce back. If you believe oil prices are going to be stuck in the $10 to $30 range for all of eternity, fair play, and there's definitely not one you can even think about playing. But if you're bullish on oil prices over time, and oil's supply and demand at the end of the day, and I think demand's going to come back pretty strong over the next year or two for oil products. Meanwhile, supply, they've just continued to cut it. Players going bankrupt. And I think that's going to set up for a real interesting price rebound for oil over the next 1 to 2 years. And I think we'll do pretty dang good on this one. It's no, do I think I'm going to 10x my money or something like that? No, probably not, okay? But do I think I have a decent probability of doubling my money? If not more than doubling my money over the next, 1 to 2 years, I think I do in this one, okay? And so that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed as always. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button and let me know in the comment section what you think about USO now that they have made those changes to it. I would love to hear from you guys as always, and make sure you share this video out, educate others about USO. Not a lot of people know exactly how USO works. They think it's just like, investing in the spot price of what oil does today or something like that, and that's not how it works, all right? Thank you for watching. Have a great day.